Okay, children, today we're going to look at a poem called White Fields by James Stephens, an Irish.
The learning platform is only as good as the tools and the resources that are available to the children. Having the radio station gives the children many, many skills. Speaking and listening, collaboration, literacy skills. It's allowing children to become creators of their own content instead of just consumers as they normally are. And the benefits of these is immense. The confidence, the self-esteem can only be good for our young people.
Why did you put this poem into your book?
I was looking at the work of James Stephens and he became almost a favourite poet.
We also cater for the more technically minded children who may not want to be in front of the camera, who may not want to be the voice of the podcast, but do a lot of the work in the back. It's been really interesting to find a way to engage children with different interests. We've got a news channel, a music channel, a jokes channel. We've also got our heritage channel. Children have the opportunity to tell stories in their own languages.
This is Didi telling a story from Somalia.
We've got an international channel where we have links all over the world where we broadcast to them and they broadcast to us. We've had some of the children's parents and grandparents in different countries log on and listen to their children's work. Anyone can listen to our radio station. So it's been a great way of promoting the children, not just within our own school community, but outside of the school community. And of course, it's not just a podcasting for podcasting's sake. Today, it was a literacy lesson.
Just one word which might be a little bit tricky called filigree. It's a type of white lace, so he's describing snow. White fields.
The blending of an old technology with a new technology, trying to stress the importance of reading aloud, of listening, but using technology to extend that beyond the classroom and indeed beyond the school.
All across the fields there be prints in silver filigree.
When a child records a poem, now they can read it to the world instead of just their teacher or the pupils in their own class. Because they know they've got a wider audience, they are very critical about the work they produce and they won't allow it to be published until they are happy with it. All of our first podcast gets uploaded to the learning platform to begin with, and then we decide if we want to publish them on the World Wide Web after we've gone through our editorial board. All the children have an opportunity to listen to all the podcasts, so some parts of lessons will be spent where children will listen to the latest poem being read to enthuse the children and hopefully engage them later in the actual production and become part of our radio station. After that, one of the children then subscribed to the podcast and actually downloaded it onto an MP3. Now that's very powerful because all of that happened within the context of a 1-hour lesson. A lot of the content that we produce on OakMag Radio Network has great educational value, and these are educational resources which can be used over and over again.
Where there is no grass at all, where the top of every wall, every fence and every tree is as white can be.
OakMag Kids is a social networking site. We have members from St Mary Magdalene's and Oakington Manor School. We decided that with the great variety of social networking sites available now, and a lot of our children were beginning to create accounts on these, so we decided to create our own social networking site on the learning platform.
On OakMag Kids you can join groups or create a group. I've joined 3 of the groups called eSafety, Animal Rights, and I've created a group called Stop Bullying. Children in the groups can send you comments about how good the group is and why they should keep the group open.
It's very important, though, to teach the children how to use these tools properly. We wouldn't give a child a hammer and a saw and go and tell them to build a house. We'd actually show them how to use the hammer, the saw, and how to use them to the best advantage. So it's the same with the digital tools. We need to show them the full benefit of the tools and how to use those tools properly to enhance their learning.
When I talk to people on OakMag Kids, I know that it's someone from Oakington Manor or St Mary Magdalene's, so it's always safe.
We don't use our own names and photos because of safety. We use avatars instead. We don't put our personal details on OakMag Kids.
Children are aware of issues regarding e-safety, but they're not actually sure of what they're not meant to be doing. We thought that the most important thing for children was to learn 2 things: how to be safe using a social networking site and how to use a social networking site responsibly. The most important thing we teach the children was not to enter any personal data about themselves. You need to know who you're talking to. You need to make sure that the people that are asking you to be their friends are people that you actually know. We work closely with agencies like CEOP, and we have links to their resources on our website, both for the children, for the teachers and for the parents, so that the parents are aware of what we're doing and of the issues regarding social networking sites and how children can be kept safe. Their names are recorded by us, so we know who the children are. Once they're within that safe environment, we've given them a lot of freedom in the choices they make with those tools which we give them. They're able to join forums, to join groups, to upload photos, upload videos. They're able to make comments to each other. And this is where the responsible element comes in. We say to children, if you are commenting with other people, if you are creating forums, if you are making contributions, you need to be responsible. You don't say unkind things. You don't be negative. One thing we were afraid of initially was that the children would not want to use it because the purpose behind it, but we were wrong. The children love it. They log on all the time. They've made a lot of new friends. They've made a lot of new resources.
I know that many people use it because there are loads of members, because you have to join the group, and then it says how many members there are in each group. The thing I like about the most is that we can start our own discussions and people can add things, what they think.
So since we've got the message over of e-safety and responsible use of our social network, we're trying to engage children to use the tools which they commonly use for more social purposes in a more educational sense, but still having fun at the same time. So a forum is not just a place to go and say, what's my favourite pop band? We want the children to see a forum as somewhere where they can actually exchange information on an aspect of their learning, instead of just as something frivolous.
On the site, in the groups, we mostly talk about revision or bullying or other things.
Of course, it also gives the children an opportunity to follow some of their own interest. We don't want to deny them that, because the social aspects is also an important part of the children's development.